Hello, how's it going? In today's video, I'm covering the Blighting of Draenor and Ner'zhul's Shadow from Chronicle Volume 2. So let's go! Kil'jaeden now had an inside man to do his bidding, but Gul'dan wouldn't be enough to turn the entire orc race against the Draenor. He needed to make them desperate and angry. Gul'dan informed Kil'jaeden of a time when the orcs had previously united as one against a common enemy, a while ago, when the ogres were messing about with the Throne of the Elements, and the elements went mental. Maybe Kil'jaeden could recreate that elemental upheaval, and the clans would join together again, and Kil'jaeden thought this was bloody brilliant. So Gul'dan was sent to the Throne of the Elements again, this time inundating it with foul magic. Pretty sure Gul'dan had a whale of a time doing this, considering the elements had told him to sod off. The corruptive power began to weaken Draenor's native spirits. At this point, the Furies, Gordog, Arboreus, Calandrios and Incineratus appeared, and they were like, what's all this about? Stop it, you Wally! But they never faced a warlock before. He just kinda stood there and cast Drain Life on them, and they had no choice but to cheese it. Gul'dan absolutely loved this. The plan to throw the elements into disarray had succeeded. As time passed, there were long droughts, followed by heavy rain. Floods devastated parts of Gorgrond and Nagrand. There were snowstorms in Tanarn Jungle and Terakar Forest. This led to immense suffering for the orcs. The shaman could offer no relief from the spread of disease, lack of water and food sources. Gul'dan had also used his magic to further spread the red pox amongst the clans. This was the worst outbreak they'd ever seen. Many contracted this plague during a Kosh'arg festival led by Chieftain Ner'zhul. They'd met to discuss the current elemental troubles, and as the festival ended, some orcs were like, oh bugger, I feel like ass. Chieftain Garad of the Frostwolf clan was afflicted at this point. Ner'zhul was worried that these orcs would spread the disease further unless they were quarantined, so he urged them all to stay in Nagrand. They would construct a new village for them all, to keep them away from greater orc society. Garad was pretty sad about the idea of not returning home, but he understood the reasoning. He didn't want to spread the pox to his family and clan members, so he stayed, and took charge over his fellow victims. Juritan volunteered to stay as well, but Garad was like, nah, go home. He placed Juritan in charge of the Frostwolves for the time being in his absence. But Juritan would never see his father again. It was only a couple of weeks later that the pox consumed Garad. In that short time, he'd earned the respect of the other plague victims. They liked him so much, they named this pox village Garadar, in his honour. The orcs in general were pretty desperate and angry now, which is exactly what Kil'jaeden wanted at the start of this video. He now decided he needed a public figure to unite the orcs. Gul'dan, for all his talents, wasn't really the guy for the job. He needed someone who could inspire the orcs, and Gul'dan was just a weird, awkward little cripple guy to them. So Gul'dan set out for the Shadowmoon clan. Their shaman were respected by all orcs, and one of them would be perfect. He informed the Shadowmoon orcs that ogres had destroyed his entire village, which isn't true. He destroyed his entire village. Although it was uncommon for clans to take in outsiders, they took pity on Gul'dan and accepted him. He carefully observed the clan's elder shaman, deciding which one would be easiest to manipulate, and he settled on the chieftain, Ner'zhul. Not only was Ner'zhul pretty obsessive when pursuing a goal, but he also had a little bit of inner turmoil and sorrow. His wife, Rulkan, had passed away a few years back. He'd come to terms with her death, but the recent elemental issues had set him back a bit. He'd taken comfort in communing with the elemental spirits, but now they were gone. So he had nothing but memories of his dead wife, and his grief felt pretty raw again. Gul'dan was like, hey brah, I know how you feel. I too lost family and friends when the ogres destroyed my village. They soon became friends, and he convinced Ner'zhul to take him on as his shamanic apprentice. Kil'jaeden was happy. He now had exactly what he needed to move forward on Operation Everything's Gonna Go to Poop. As he began to twist Ner'zhul's thoughts, he sent Gul'dan on another task. Find a way to make the orcs see the Draenor as their enemy, and Gul'dan had a pretty good idea where to start. And we're leaving it there! It's weird that we seem to have reached a point in both Volume 2 and 3 where every video is like, and the Legion succeeded in this, and the Legion succeeded in that. In Friday's video, we're going to see Gul'dan plant the seeds of hatred, Ner'zhul's going to start having some pretty weird conversations with his dead wife, and the first iteration of the Horde will be formed. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, blah blah blah, but all that's left to say is, thanks very much for watching, and see ya!